Today, we're going to smoke up some really nice pork spare ribs. This is how I like to trim my ribs up. I'm going to cut this this bad meat off, and that's going to come all the way down to the edge, to the end here. This piece doesn't have the chine bone in it. They cut that out, so I don't have to worry about that on this particular piece. Okay, and that's one of them. And I'm going to cut all this off too. This thin stuff is just going to burn up, and that's going to be to the first bone here, about right here. So we're going to cut that off, and then once we get that trimmed up, see, it's much nicer looking now. Flip it over. We're going to cut this mohawk off. Be careful, these knives are really sharp and you don't want to cut yourself. Get that mohawk off there, and then once that's off, what I like to do is this membrane, I'm really not into removing it, but what I will do is I'll go ahead and score it. There's a lot of schools of thought on it. Some people like to score it, some people like to remove it, some leave it alone. I found that scoring it works just fine, and I like to score it across the bones like this. See that? And that's how it looks the best to me. It holds them together. You still get nice smoke inside the meat, and you don't have to worry about fighting that membrane. Now let's season these ribs up. What I'm going to use is my little blend of pork seasoning. What this is about 1/3 coarse ground kosher salt, 1/3 coarse ground black pepper, and about 1/3 sifted brown sugar. Then I'm going to put a tablespoon of ancho chili powder in it, a tablespoon of garlic powder in it, and a tablespoon of onion powder. Shake it up and it's ready to use. First we're going to season the bottom of it. Open this up. We're going to do this pretty nicely. I like to put a thick layer on it, but not so much that it's going to seal the meat off from the smoke. You want that smoke to be able to get in there. So we're going to put a good coat on there. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. Get this side real good. Once we've got this side, we're going to flip it over and get the top of the ribs. We're going to make sure and season this side the same way we did the other. Put a nice, good seasoning coat on here. You want enough that it's going to season your meat and that salt's going to soak in, but you don't want to put so much that the powdery ingredients seal the meat from the smoke. Once we get the top side done, then we got to do the edges. Let's not forget those. Rookie mistake. We don't forget the edges now. Get all those edges. Sides. These are going to be some good ribs. We're going to get that whole thing all the way down, all of the sides. Make sure we get plenty of seasoning on this thing. And there we go. And this one is seasoned up, ready to go in the smoker. Okay, now that we've got those ribs all seasoned up, it's time to get them in the smoker. The fire is going really good. I've already preheated the smoker. I'm going to go ahead and get those ribs in there. I'm going to set these ribs on the back side here because I have another rack that I'm going to trim up, and they're going to go right there. And along with that is some pork tallow. This is tallow from other cooks. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. It'll help melt it a little bit more, and it'll give it a nice smoky flavor. Now let's shut this thing down and get those ribs to cooking. Okay, we're about 2 hours into the cook now. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to check the fire, see if we need to add more wood. I'm going to add it if we do, and then we're going to open that chamber up for the first time, and we're going to check the temperature of those ribs. Let's get this fire looked at first. Yeah, we can use some more wood in it. This is one piece of oak. and 1 piece of mesquite. Gonna put those on there. Once they get started, we'll close it up. Oh wow, it didn't take long. That's what happens when you preheat the wood. Preheating that wood dries it out, gets it nice and hot. When you put it on that fire, that charcoal bed, it ignites right away. So I can go ahead and close this thing. That stuff's already burning. Now I'm going to check the temperature of those ribs. I'm going to use my Javelin Pro instant read thermometer. Let's open it up. It's on. Wow, it's 100 degrees outside today. Wow. Oh yeah, those ribs look really good. Take a look at those things. Let's see what that internal temperature is. We're looking at about 154. They're cooking pretty quick. 149. So yeah, we're at the 150, 155 range. They're a little dry, so I'm going to go ahead and spritz them. This spritz, it's half apple cider vinegar and half water. The water's just to water it down so it lasts longer. But they're kind of dry, so I'm going to give them a nice little spritz. Moisten them up a little bit. And now it's time to go ahead and close this thing back down and get these ribs cooking some more. Now to go along with the pork ribs in that smoker back there, we're going to make some bacon jalapeno wrapped corn on the cob. Now we're going to get the corn ready. We're going to cut the ends off the corn on the cob first, and then we're going to remove the husk. And after removing the husk, we're going to remove all those corn strings. There's our first piece of corn. First, the bacon. We're going to take 3 pieces and lay them out on the cutting board. Open it up. Get your 3 pieces out. And then we're going to lay these out on the cutting board, just like this. There you go. Now we're going to slice the jalapeno up. We're going to cut it in half, and we're going to cut it in thin pieces lengthwise. And there you go. We'll spread the jalapenos out on this bacon. Get them nice and spread out all the way across it. We will take the corn on the cob and put it on top like this, and then we're going to start rolling it. And you just roll it up just like this. Now you have bacon wrapped corn on the cob. And the last step before it goes in that smoker with the ribs is getting it drowned in garlic butter. We're going to put quite a bit of that on there. Now I've got 5 more of these to make, and I'll see you when it's time to get them in the smoker with those ribs. Now we're going to check that fire, see if we need to add wood. Then we're going to check the temperature of those ribs to see if it's time to go ahead and throw that bacon jalapeno wrapped corn on the cob in there. First the fire, let's check that out, see where we are. Yeah, it's time. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of pieces of wood. This is post oak. I'm going with straight oak now, not putting any more mesquite in there. See how quickly it fired up? That's because I preheat that stuff. Get a couple of more sticks of that post oak and get it preheated. Now let's go ahead and check the temperature of those ribs and see where we're at on there. Oh yeah, boy, they are looking good. Man, they look good. 169. That's right where we need to be. Yeah, we're good on there. It's time to go ahead and I'm going to move these around, actually. Put this one on the outside, this one on the inside. I'm going to spritz them a little bit. They're getting dry. And keep them nice and moist. We don't want dry ribs. We want good, moist, delicious ribs. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and get the corn on the cob in there. There we go. That's one. Two. Three. We're going to put these other ones over here. There we go. They're cooking good. Close this up. And finish this cook off in a little bit. Next time you see me, I'll be wrapping those ribs. Now we're going to check the temperature on these ribs to see if they're ready to wrap. Oh, look at that corn on the cob. That stuff looks amazing. Oh my. Let's see where we are on the temperature. About 179. Yeah, it's definitely ready to wrap. That's it. Yeah, we're ready to wrap them. And there we are on that. 168, 169, 170. Yep. We're going to go ahead and wrap these up. Once we get them wrapped up, we're going to get them back in that smoker. We're going to give them to 203 degrees internal temperature, and they'll be ready to rest. Time to get these ribs wrapped up. Going to lay them on the paper right here. This is the tallow that we smoked earlier along with the ribs. We took them out a little while ago. We're going to go ahead and put that tallow all over those ribs. This is going to add some juice and a little bit of smoke flavor. Talk about good stuff. I went ahead and put a little bit on the paper before we took the ribs out. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover these things in some brown sugar. Take a look at that. Plenty of that brown sugar. Gives you that nice sweetness. There you go. Get that stuff spread out on there nice, and then we're going to wrap it up. Now to wrap it, it's really simple. Take it and wrap over. Going to take this side, roll it down. We're going to do the same thing to this side. There we go. Now right now we're meat side up. That's where we want to end up. Now we're bone side up. So we're going to flip it one more time. And then we're going to take this paper and we're going to fold it underneath. And there we go. A good tight wrap. Put these ribs back in the smoker. I'll get the other rack wrapped up and we'll finish this cook. We got the corn on the cob out of the smoker a little earlier. Now we're going to go ahead and check on these ribs to see if they're ready to come out and rest. And what we're looking at, yep, there we are, 204. We're in good shape. So let's go ahead and get these things out of there. We're going to let them rest up and we'll be having dinner in a little bit. I'm going to let them cool for about 10 minutes, then we're going to put them in the cooler to let them rest for about an hour. These ribs have been cooling down for about 10 minutes. Now it's time to go ahead and get them in the cooler and let them rest for about an hour. Get those things in there. And get that other rack in there. These are going to be some good ribs, I'm telling you. They smell wonderful. Got them in the cooler. We're going to shut that thing down. And we're going to let them rest for about an hour. See when it's time to slice into them. Ribs have rested for about an hour now. So let's get them out of this cooler and slice them up. go. Oh yeah. Good looking ribs. Oh, they're coming out really nice. Look at those beautiful ribs. Get that juice on those ribs. There we go. Those are some nice looking ribs. They came out good. They sure smell good. Now let's slice into them. See what they look like. I'm going to turn them up this way because you can see the bones better on this side. We're going to slice this rib right out of the middle. And take a look at that. Oh yeah, those ribs came out perfect. That's beautiful. Look at that juice.